All right, here we go. Another edition of KnicksFanTV Live, Knicks Weekly, presented by Manscaped. This is the weekly recap show, but we're in the off-season edition, or the on-season, as my guy Jay Boogie says, man. Tonight's show, we're going to talk about our top 10 Knicks draft picks of all time, post-lottery of all time, post-lottery. We're going to recap and react to the NBA playoffs. And tonight is also a fan mailbag edition. We took to Twitter and polled the fans on some questions that they wanted answered tonight on tonight's show. So we're going to get into all that. Lock in, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. CP the Franchise, Alex Rotaros, the Stratocaster in the building. Salute to everybody in the chat. Let's get it going. KnicksFanTV Live, another edition of Knicks Weekly. Al, how you feeling, man?
Chilling, man. You know, had a nice weekend. First and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there.
Yeah, man. Happy Mother's Day, man. Happy Mother's Day, man. Hope it was a good one for you, bro.
It was a very busy day, to say the least, when it came to Mother's Day. But it was a good one. And just chilling, man, watching some playoff basketball, enjoying it. You know, enjoy the weekend, even though it was brick outside. It's really strange weather for May, but I'm looking forward to getting into some of these the mailbag questions. Looking forward to talk about the playoffs and ready for this heated debate later that we got for our top 10.
The top 10 is getting very interesting. I saw your list. You saw my list. We're gonna unveil the list to the people, and we'll have at it, man. But first, as you said, let's get right into the mailbag question. We went on Twitter and asked the fans to throw some questions at us in terms of the off season and what we thought about it. So first, I'm gonna kick it off with my guy John Acevedo, man, big time supporter of the show. So John's question is: would you rather trade for Spider? He sets up three scenarios. Would you rather trade for Donovan Mitchell if you give up RJ, Obi, Emmanuel Quickly, and picks? Second scenario, trade Julius Randle straight up for D'Angelo Russell. Third scenario, start IQ. Or fourth, sign and trade for Brunson. And in parentheses, he says Julius goes home to Dallas. So he's really trying to get Julius up out of here. He put Julius in two of his scenarios. He's trying to send Julius packing in whichever, so he padded his choices there with Julius. So what are you thinking?
Oh man, this one's a little difficult because I do like the idea of IQ starting next season. I'm not really feeling the Spider trade, which has to include RJ, Obi, IQ picks. That's too much for my blood. That's too much. I feel like that's all your mortgage in the future. Can't be doing that around here. I'm probably have to go with sign and trade for Brunson, send Julius home to Dallas. Brunson having a good run of the playoffs right now. All right, Mavs tied it 2-2 with the Phoenix Suns. You saw they beat the Utah Jazz. They beat Donovan Mitchell and his team.
Yep.
Brunson showing up, giving you some 40, 30-point games when it matters most in the playoffs. I could take that guy on a team any day of the week. The Knicks haven't had a guy like that in a minute.
Yeah.
So give me Jalen Brunson. Even though I'd like to see IQ start, I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson in this scenario.
So here's how I look at it, and shout out our guy John Acevedo for the question. Spider Mitchell for Arj. As much as I like Spider Mitchell, and I'm not as down about the prospects of Spider Mitchell as most fans are, that I think recency bias really kills us. They look at his struggles in the playoffs and like, oh, he's not the guy. Let's pump our brakes here. He'd be the best player on the Knicks by a mile since Carmelo Anthony. For RJ, Obi, IQ picks, too rich for my blood. But you have to figure, bro, that, Danny Ainge is no slouch. And if he had to have his pick of who he wants in a potential Spider Mitchell trade, he wants RJ. He doesn't want Julius. He wants RJ. And so, even though this is a hefty price, I think this is where Utah would start. in a Spider Mitchell deal. You know,
Probably.
for their homegrown star who has no leverage, and you can get better deals out there. The Knicks would have to pay to play if they want Spider Mitchell. They have no leverage. He can go to Danny and say, send me to New York as much as he wants. He doesn't have that leverage with the Jazz, where even with 3 years left on his deal that they would acquiesce. No, Danny Ainge is going for the best deal. So that package would have to start there. Too rich for my blood, so I'll pass on that. There are reports that D'Angelo Russell is on the trading block. He's got 1 year left on his deal, $31 million. Timberwolves, they blew a couple of games to the Grizzlies. I thought they hung in there tough with the Grizzlies. I think their inexperience hurt them. Their bad decision-making hurt them. They're not a disciplined team whatsoever. And I think a lot of that rested on D'Lo, man. I think when D'Lo gets cooking, he's a very inconsistent player. When he gets going, he can heat up. But when he's bad, he's bad, man. He's so hot and cold. And I thought part of the Timberwolves flaming out late in those games was D'Lo. Taking bad shots or just not making good decisions. His defense is lousy. So for Julius, straight up, number one, the Knicks ain't doing that. Knicks aren't trading Julius Randle for an expiring contract. They're not there yet with him. I don't think so. So I'll pass on that. Starting IQ, I'd like to see it. But I take Brunson. I'm with you, bro. I take Brunson with IQ. Give me both. Give me both of those players. I like what Brunson is giving Dallas right now. He gives them an edge. He gives them a toughness. He's continuing to attack. He gets into the paint, which is what Tibbs likes. He might not like his size, but Brunson, he's physical. Brunson is a scrapper, man. So depending on the price, I'd lean on the Brunson deal. Depending on the price.
Look, like I said, man, on the last Knicks Weekly show, blue team, Dallas is Julius's home. Hey, man, give it a ring.
Hey.
My thing on D'Lo.
Yeah.
Can we also just because Cat also was not great that series. He was hot and
Cat was lousy. He was lousy, bro.
Do you think it's too many chefs in the kitchen with that team? Like Anthony Edwards is that dude, but then you have D'Lo who needs the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
You have Cat who's just
You have Pat Bev take it. I like Pat Bev. I like the attitude. I like the dog. I don't need you taking a lot of shots in the fourth quarter, bro. Between you and D'Lo, you got to find Karl Anthony Towns in crunch time.
Honestly, if I'm the Timberwolves and I'm looking at Julius Randle straight up for D'Lo, I'm probably saying no because I think guards one commodity in this league, obviously, but who is then organizing that offense? Who are you relying on from the perimeter to get your shots? It's not Pat Bev,
right?
So that's why I don't think one, that trade will work out. Two, I think you can get a little bit more for D'Lo than Julius Randle.
I don't really see Randle and Cat coexisting like that. I'm not so sure. I don't see it. I saw a lot of Julius and Karl Anthony Towns in the playoffs. I saw a lot of Julius tendencies out there. I was like, whoa, I'm getting flashbacks because I'm rooting for the Timberwolves in this thing. I'm getting flashbacks watching Karl Anthony Towns out there, man.
Having two bigs back down from the 3-point line, that'd be one thing to watch.
Yeah. Post up from the elbow. Like, what are we doing here, man?
Craziness. Absolute craziness.
So we're going Brunson there. We're going Brunson. Salute to John Acevedo for the question. Okay, next question here, Al. This is from Frazier Coleman. He did want us to talk football draft, Giants and Jets. I didn't want to go there because we might not have too many football fans in here. So let's go to the second part of his question. He says, how do you rank the Knicks' priorities in the offseason? Re-sign Mitch, extend RJ, move Julius, move the vets, add a point guard, add a major piece, add through the draft. You have 7 options. How do you rank them?
Holy cow. Woo. It's a lot of options.
It's a lot of options. A lot of moves. A lot of moves we got to make.
A lot of options. And they all it's one crazy web because when you look at all of it, it all meshes with one another. And I feel like the focal point has to be with I'm going with moving the vets first.
Okay.
Like moving the vets first. I'm gonna go with moving the vets first because you got to open it up for some of these young guys to play. I feel like that will help this team offensively and even defensively, just knowing who's going to slot where and give you more of a clear-cut vision on where you want to go with this team. And if you're going to go with youth after that, you got to re-sign Mitch. I feel like you can't just let him walk for free. You got to keep your rim protector, lob threat. He's the next guy I'm trying to prioritize because, like I said, you don't want to lose him for nothing. But two, who do you have after that? I mean, you can try to go out into the market, but we just saw Mitch improve this past season, from being a foul-prone machine his first 2 seasons to cleaning all that up, getting better at boxing out. He's still a strong offensive rebounder. That's a commodity you don't come by in the league that often. Just a good rebounder overall. I'd want to keep him on this team moving forward. So he's the second guy I'd focus on.
Okay.
Next, it's got to go with moving Randall, man. Got to go with moving Randall. And I'm saying to move Randall because we saw what happened this past season, with the interactions of the fans, slowing the offense down. Could some of that be alleviated if you have a point guard? If you shake up this roster and have a lot of the youth who can shoot and are more looking to get out into the court, maybe. But I think just overall, just watching him seclude himself from the team towards the end, even though you saw him cheering on the bench, I will acknowledge that. I just feel like there's something there that's so delicate that you have to move him just because if he shows another stinker of a season, that's tough, man. That's tough for the team. Yeah. That's a lot of money locked up in a player that you can't play on a night-to-night basis, not knowing what you're going to get out of him. That would be my third priority on this team, even though I know him and Mitch don't really work too well in the paint, and you want to have someone that could potentially shoot from beyond the arc. That would open up the paint for him. But that'd be the third guy I would look at next. Who was the next one? Extend RJ and find a point guard. I'd probably go with extend RJ next. Actually, no, what was it? Or fix through the draft? No,
yeah.
I'm gonna focus on the draft first.
Okay.
Continue to add through the youth, add more youth to this team. Look for another wing in the draft. We need more length on this team, more guys who are able to guard multiple positions, shoot, get out in transition. So I'll go there. Then I'll go look for a point guard. Because even if that doesn't work, I still think you could start IQ. And then RJ, because I think you can still wait a little bit longer because I think he's guaranteed for an extension regardless.
Interesting. What do you guys think in the chat? The choices were, and shout out to Frazier Coleman again, the choices were re-sign Mitch, extend RJ, move Randall, move the vets, add a point guard, add a major piece, or add through the draft. What are your priorities in that order? Here's where I'm going. And if you guys want to call in, phone lines up 657-383-1509, or you can hit us up on the Knicks Fan TV Discord. So to everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Here's where I'm going. Obviously, number one is going to be add a major piece. This is year 3 of the Leon Rose regime. This is year 3 of the Tibbs era. This is year 3 of both parties being on James Dolan payroll. It's time to move this thing up a notch. Obviously, adding a major piece would help that. Who that person is, I'm not quite sure. As I said, go ahead.
How do you define major piece, though?
All-star. Superstar.
All-star, okay.
Major piece. Okay. Major piece. Talking about a guy that can take you from 38 to that 50 burger. That can legit get you to a 50 burger, right? Obviously, Mitchell would be my first choice. It's going to cost you a hefty price tag. I'm not so high on Zion as some. You still make a call. Bradley Beal looks like he'll stick around in D.C., or there may be other suitors. Guys like that. Still, you got to check in. Maybe there's three-team, multi-team trades. You never know. Still check in, see what's going on. So obviously, that's going to be my number one priority. I want to get talent. I want to get a talent upgrade in here. Number 2, add through the draft. Lottery's coming up May 17th. We'll see where they pick. If it's top 5, if it's top 10, I would have to think they keep it. Can we get a talent in here? Can we get a potential difference maker in that spot? Add through the draft. Number 3, point guard. Point guard. I'm looking at Brunson. Secondarily, I can't shake this Brogdon thing, man. Injuries and all, I can't shake that Brogdon thing. But if it isn't one of those 2 guys as a starting point guard, I'm going with Quickly, and then I'm looking for backup options using the mid-level exemption. Mid-level exemption, according to Fred Katz, he was on my show a couple weeks ago. Check out that Fred Katz interview. He said the mid-level exemption will be rising up to at least $10 million, I think. So you could get some quality. I take Rubio as a backup. I take Tyus Jones as a backup because I truly think he is a backup. You have some quality options there as a backup. So I would look at Brunson, maybe even a Brogdon as a starting option. Then I'm going quick. And then I'm looking for a backup at his spot. And some of you guys might want to keep Rose. I like Rose, man, but I'm trying to get a durable play in here, get some youth in here, get a facilitator in here, and keep it moving. I like Rose. I do. I find it hard to move on from him. But that goes to my next point, moving the vets. That'll be number 4 for me. Move the vets. Namely, I'm looking at Burks. I'm keeping Fournier. I'm looking at Burks. I'm looking at Rose. Taj, forget it. Forget Taj. You don't have to worry about moving Taj. Taj is gone. Noel is a wild card depending on what happens with Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Noel is a wild card depending on what happens with Mitch. You might be forced to keep Noel and push, and maybe you might even be a starter if you lose Mitch. Who knows? You lose Mitch. Why go out there and invest more money in the starter? You paying Noel $10 million. You got Sims as a backup. Maybe you go out and get a stretch 5 if you lose Mitch. So Noel is a question mark. But at the top of the list, I'm moving Burks. That's my guy. Sorry, Burks Hive is over with. And maybe even Rose. We gotta consolidate. And get some more youth mixed in here. Take away the guys that Tibbs is going to lean on. He's going to lean on Burks. That was our starting point guard for damn near 90% of the year. And he's going to lean on Rose. You know that. So I'm moving on there. I'm keeping Fournier. 5th priority of the 7, re-sign Mitch. That's my 5th priority right there. That's my guy, Block Ness. But I feel like those others are going to take precedence. I'm re-signing Mitch for 5th priority. 6th, I'm moving Randall. 6th.
Wow.
6th.
Low on the totem pole.
6th. I might have lost some viewers just now, man. Look, my perspective on Julius has been that they're not gonna sell low. I don't think they're gonna sell low on him. To me, it doesn't make sense for them to do so. I think it's better to see if he can repair a lost season, open up more options for him and the team, and see where it goes from there. Selling low, to me, I think you're hindering the asset that it could be. You may need that contract down the road, man, to get you something big. I've been saying this on every podcast I go on. You may need that contract. Maybe not next year. Maybe it's the year after that. You may need that salary to go get something big when you don't want to part with too many draft picks or maybe an even better young player. Maybe he improves and becomes a more marketable asset. You know, but fans just think, just get rid of him for this, just get rid of him for this because they're not satisfied with him. I don't think the front office is going to operate that way. I really don't. I really do not think, because right now, to trade him right now, you most likely gonna have to put draft capital on top of that. He's got a 4-year deal, right? The extension hasn't even kicked in yet.
Starts this season
at 4 years. So most likely you're gonna have to put. Why would you put draft capital on there, a draft asset that you're gonna need down the road, either to draft yourself or to trade, just to get him off the books? I don't think they're gonna do that.
Let me ask you this: if someone offers you a first-round protected pick, top 10 protected pick for Julius Randle, are you moving Julius Randle for that first rounder?
Top 10 protected.
Obviously there have to be someone to match the contract, or a couple players to match the contract.
If we're getting a draft pick for him,
yes.
And it's
top 10 protected.
It's outside the top 10?
Yeah.
Depends on what you get back, man. You know that's my answer, man. It depends on what you get.
Depends on what you need.
It depends on what you need, man. I got to look at what the draft class is looking like and the play that I'm getting back.
I don't know if you're my attorney or
it's a little too hypothetical. It's a little too hypothetical, man. It's a little too hypothetical. I'm just being realistic. You know, a lot of fans want to just sell low, get him out of here, get Obi in here. I don't think they move that way just yet. You got to think about future moves.
The only thing I'll say with that is that you're going to the third year of Obi Toppin. You're going to have to decide if you want to extend him.
Yes.
If not, you want to trade. You're going to have to want to trade him, and it's going to probably be this season where he still has, I'd say, the most value. You can't, if you trade him on the 4th year of his contract, you're selling low on a rookie scale contract. So you at least have to sell with 1 more year, so that way they get a look at them, see him in the offense, defense, whatever, to see them in a rotation overall.
Look,
if I want to play devil's advocate with myself, you could just keep him, play Randall, sign him for less because you haven't seen that much out of him. But I don't see why a team would want to do that. You want to get an asset in return.
Right. Like my guy Hack Brazo says, I'm valuing the worst player in the league like he's an MVP. I'm not valuing it. I'm telling you what the front office is going to do. What I think they're going to do, which is keep him. I don't think they're just going to trade him just because the fans think it's time to trade him and sell low. They're not going to trade him for an expiring contract. They're not going to trade him and put an asset on top of him just to dump the salary. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. At least that's just my opinion, right?
Look, man, Obi Toppin's in that corner waiting. Teams got to figure out something.
I've been safe from the day he got drafted. It's either you're moving Julius or you're going with Obi. You guys don't let me say it again. Don't let me use the B word again. Or don't let me use the D word again. You guys don't want to hear that, right? We went through that, right? I told you that this is the reality that we're faced with. This is the reality that we're faced with.
Mm.
All right. And then lastly is extend RJ. There's no rush in that. We can wait. To me, I would like to wait. You know, if he wants to go for that full bag, let's see some improvements. Let's see some improvements, some more efficiency. Let's see some improvements in the mid-range, in the pull-up. Let's see. There's no rush. There's no rush on the RJ extension. So that would be 7th on my list. So I'm adding a major piece, add through the draft. Point guard will be 3rd on my priority list. Move the vets. Re-sign Mitch. Move Julius. Extend RJ.
I didn't add to my list because I forgot it. But upgraded talent would be the last thing I worry about. It would be after extending RJ, just because I don't think this team has, even though they have the draft capital, I don't think the players are there yet where you can trade few of them and not a lot of them to upgrade talent where you're not bare on talent. So for me, that'd be the last thing, to go for someone like Donovan Mitchell, you know, and even if let's just say with Donovan Mitchell, if it's someone like Donovan Mitchell, it's a lot of assets to move for them. The Utah Jazz are not going to sell low on him, even though his playoff performance was subpar. That's the last thing I'm looking at, because I still think you could build with the young core that you have. If they then continue to get better, that means their value increases and the less assets you have to move to go get somebody. So that's the last thing for me, is trying to do a serious upgrade in talent, because I don't even think the team's there yet. Sure, he'll take it 50 wins, as you said, get you that 50 burger. But I don't think you're going that much farther in the playoffs with the remainder of the roster if you trade all those young kids.
And that brings us to our last question. Shout out Frazier Coleman. This last question goes to Mike Arrow on Twitter. He says, is trading away the young talent for Donovan Mitchell a better long-term move for the Knicks than developing and playing our young guys? I think it would set us back. A trade for Mitchell. We should adopt a similar strategy, similar to the Warriors. Well, I mean, look, I think every team would like to build like the Warriors, right? I think the Sacramento Kings are still trying to build like the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Luck has a lot to do with it, man. It's not just draft and build a winner. Luck has a lot to do with it. A lot to do with it.
They got Jordan Poole. They are stacked with talent right now.
There you go.
He's coming off the bench, giving you 30 minutes and dropping 30.
Beast. What do you think? Is trading for the Spider now a detriment to the long-term success of the team?
Yeah, I think it's a detriment to the long-term success. I think you look at that, and I just said it. You get the wins that you want. What's the playoff success? If your whole goal is to get championships, I feel like you're mortgaging a lot since players are moving through trades. You need assets in order to trade for players at this point. Mm-hmm. Free agency isn't what it used to be. You're not getting the Heatles. You're not getting those type of team. You're not getting those type of teams just choosing. You're not getting Kevin Durant going to the Warriors anytime soon. Giannis isn't going to go through free agency, in my opinion, either, when his contract ever ends. So if you're going to do it right, you got to build that core. You got to figure out the young pieces that you have, draft well, develop well. That's what the Raptors have done. That's what the Warriors have done. That's the way I would like to see the Knicks move it, because just like I said, if you increase their value, then you can start trading to get good players, right? Or you could take advantage of an offseason, get someone like Jalen Brunson. I look at getting someone like Jalen Brunson, even if you still want Emmanuel quickly to start. In order to get talent, you need to have talent. It's like the money saying, right? In order to make money, you got to have money. In order to get talent, you got to have talent. So if you get someone like Jalen Brunson, you could potentially move him down the line to get
building blocks.
So I look at it in that aspect. I don't want to mortgage everything for one guy. Slow and steady. Get the building blocks and keep collecting more talent so that we can aggregate that more talent to get even better talent.
So slow and steady, man. I'm a big time fan of the Spider. Like I said, I think a lot of people are selling this guy way too short based off of one bad playoff series. I think people are selling him way too short. This is a hard trade to make right now, because again, I still don't feel like we have established any building blocks past RJ right now that you can say, okay, even if I have to give up RJ for Donovan Mitchell, even if I have to do that, I still have something here that Donovan Mitchell that you can build with Donovan Mitchell, not Julius. I'm not talking about Julius, right? I'm talking about something legit. And then you could say, okay, you bring in Donovan Mitchell, you have this guy who's a homegrown talent. Now we can go out, trade some more guys, and go get, player XYZ. And build a legit contender. I say, even though I want this guy, I say, wait. He still has 3 years left on his deal. Wait a little bit. Continue to draft. Continue to develop. See who can emerge alongside RJ. And then maybe go pursue a Mitchell trade down the road. Maybe not next season, the season after that. When he has a little bit more leverage and can maybe tilt things a little bit. But at this time, I think it would hurt us long term. Because like I said, Danny Ainge, if you want the Spider right now, Danny Ainge is coming through for everything. He's coming through for everything. So I'm waiting. I'm
trading with Danny Ainge gives me nightmares, man. I just see what he's done to teams in the past. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah. I unfortunately, we gotta wait. I'd love to get Spider here immediately.
Oh, for sure.
We gotta wait.
I would love to have Spider on this team, but as you said, I don't need to repeat it, but it is exactly as you said. Like, do you really want to give it that many assets? I'm fine.
Yeah. Tough call, man. What do you guys think in the chat? So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Another episode of Knicks Weekly presented by Manscaped. Let me shout out my guy Kane Marco, $10 super chat. Says, we're getting that number one pick. Manifest it. He says, now we're getting John Wall, and you know it. Oh, we got into a John Wall debate on Twitter earlier today, man, because, John Hollinger and The Athletic, they between the Gobert piece last week and now he's talking, John Wall would be a big pickup. I got no patience, man. They're gonna raise my blood pressure up, and we haven't even hit the lottery yet. We haven't even gotten into the teeth of the offseason. And they're talking about John Wall would be a great pickup. Look, the Kemba
as a starting point guard.
Look, the Kemba thing was a complete disaster. I'm done. I am done. I'm moving forward. I don't want any more pieces, any more question marks, any more injury-prone players. I want to start fresh and keep it pushing. I'll take my chances of losing out on John Wall. Let him go back to the Wizards or something. I'm done, man. I'm not with that.
My thing with seeing John Wall is to say, like, how does that even make sense to have him as your starting point guard for one season? How does that even make sense? So you waste a season. Maybe magically you get into the playoffs. After that, his contract's done. You're not re-signing him. What did you gain out of that season?
Yeah.
Start Emmanuel quickly, if you're even considering that. If that's even a realistic option, start Emmanuel quickly. Figure out what you have in the youth. John Wall, the only way I want to see John Wall on this team is what he had in the Houston Rockets. He's not playing, and we got draft assets. It's the only way. Only way. And that's not even realistic.
It's not even realistic, bro. I am not even interested in the slightest. I'm not even curious to see what a John Wall acquisition would look like on this team. Not even curious. Not even a little bit. But we did have a sleeper question, man. Let me go to it. We did have a sleeper question, and this is by this random account called MP. Says, CP, I love the Manscaped more than my family. That being said, is the ball deodorant worth it? I don't know if this is Tom from Huntington, man. I'm not quite sure. But that is a perfect segue to plug our sponsor, man. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up on the feed, boys. As you know, Knicks Weekly is presented by Manscaped, the #1 men's grooming tool below the waist, fellas. Go out and cop that Lawnmower 4.0. It'll change your life. Springtime is here. It's getting warmer outside, fellas. Before you go out on that we outside stuff, make sure you trim the hedges, man. Get out there. Do not be caught lacking. There's a lot of competition out there with the weather's getting better. Get ahead of the curve. All right? Get ahead of the curve. Take care of the family jewels with the Lawnmower 4.0. And as MP said, man, Manscaped has a ton of products for today's man. It's not just about the Lawnmower 4.0, but he's right, man. You got the ball deodorant. You got the shampoo, the conditioner. They got a lot of, this is the ball deodorant that he's talking about. This is the ball deodorant. You got lip balm. I mean, Manscaped has everything, man. They got lotion, you know what I'm saying? No testimonials. You do what you want with that. But shampoo, conditioner, body wash, all that good stuff, man. Shout out to our friends at Manscaped. And fellas, man, go ahead and support us by supporting Manscaped, man. Go to manscaped.com, enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. They'll ship free to the U.S., Europe, UK, South Africa, Australia, Singapore as well. So go ahead and cop that. And shout out to our friends at Manscaped once again. Shout out to MP. I don't know this guy. This could be Tom from Huntington, bro. I'm not so sure who it is, but shout out to them.
But to answer the question, yes, it does work.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes, like I said, it's getting warm outside. You might not be able to get home to, take a quick shower. You got to go to happy hour. You got to go, see a joint or something. You got a quick date. Slap on that ball deodorant. Slap on the ball toner. Manscaped, man. Very, very versatile product. Okay, Al. So we took care of our mailbag. So to everybody that submitted questions. We'll do that again sometime for sure. I see some callers on the line right now. Let's take some quick calls before we get into NBA playoffs. Area code 631. Area code 631. What's your name and where you tapping in from?
Hello.
Yo. Oh, here he is, bro. Right on time. I didn't even know that we were going to my guy. We got no screeners on tonight. Is this my guy, Tom from Huntington?
It's the legendary Tom from Huntington, and no, I could not hide behind NP.
Let's go.
You know me. I'm in the forefront.
Let's go.
I did not tweet that. I did not send that message, but the ball deodorant will not only change your life, it'll inspire you to succeed. That's what it does for me. Anyway, gentlemen, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Of course, I miss all the shows, but I understand it's the on season, so I get it. Mm-hmm. As far as the things I want to do, well, hopefully both of you are doing well. Salute to you and everyone else. As far as the things I want to do, I'll keep it quick. You know me, rapid fire.
Let's go.
Number one, I'll try to move Julius, even though I know it's going to be almost impossible. I don't know anyone who's really. I don't know any team. I can't think of a team that would really want him at this point. Mm-hmm. But I would try to move him, pick a direction. I would try to get Jalen Brunson. I've been saying that for a while. I'm tired of waiting for the perfect 6'6", point guard with the 7'8" wingspan that shoots threes and gets everybody, that gets 10 assists. Let's just go with a steady hand, a gritty player, a guy who our current coach respects, because he respects him. Then let's do the draft. Let's do what we got to do. Hopefully we can get a top 4 pick. I'm not even going number 1. Mm-hmm. Give me a top 4 pick. Let's just keep getting assets, clear some space out, figure out what we're going to do with Cam Reddish. Mm-hmm. We definitely need to figure out what we're going to do with Cam, because everyone I keep hearing saying let's draft wings, but do we want to get rid of veterans and then just clog up the situation with other wings? You know what I mean? So anyway, let me let you guys go. Thanks again for everything. Great work as always. Keep up the good work, and I'll definitely talk to you soon. God bless you, and God bless Manscaped.
Appreciate the call, Tom. Hey, yo, listen, no BS. We got no screeners on tonight. Edgar's got finals and whatnot, so we got to freestyle it.
Shocked.
I just clicked on the first call on the line. I don't know Tom's number by heart. The only person I know his number by heart is Jay Boogie. So when he calls in, I know his number. I don't know Tom's number by heart. I just clicked on it. And who do we know? It's Tom, the number 1 fan of Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. We just tapped in, man. It's just that type of energy, bro. It's just that.
That's
type
phenomenal.
Of energy. Yeah, it's just that type of energy, man. Back to the phones we go. Area code 817. What's your name? Where you tapping in from?
Yo, it's Lord Scientist. What's up, CB?
Lord Scientist, long time, man. How you feeling, fam? How you feeling, bro?
Oh, man, salute. Get them thumbs up. Let's get them likes up.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hey, Alec, how you? Salute, Alec.
Good, man. How you doing, Ward?
Oh, man, everything is good. Hey, yo, listen, everything you were saying about the Donovan Mitchell thing, I'm really in agreement with this. But let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Does anybody know if Danny Ainge has a relationship with World Wide West or anybody else? Like, is Leon Rose, do they have any kind of relationship that we might know that we might not know that's public? That's a question I wanted to ask, and I'm out. Quick flash. Let's get this done. Go Knicks.
Appreciate it. Well, I think the first thing we would have to do is see which one of Leon Rose's clients, have played for the Celtics. We would have to look up that history, and it's no way of really knowing, right? But first thing you have to see is, are there any free agents that went to Boston when Leon Rose was representing them and Danny Ainge was there? Then you would hope that they have some sort of, relationship negotiating. But at the end of the day, Danny Ainge's responsibility is to the owner of the Jazz and Ryan Smith. And he's got to get him a return on his investment. And like I said, they are very much invested in Donovan Mitchell. Last week on the show, we talked about the ESPN article that came out last week about the whole Gobert-Mitchell fallout. That talked about how much the Jazz were putting in to make Mitchell happy. And that's traveling to Connecticut to talk to him after every offseason. That's Ryan Smith and D. Wade. They hired his personal trainer. They hired his security. They signed Eric Pascal. So, look, I think they're trying to build this thing around Donovan Mitchell just to be realistic. I'm not so sure they're just going to bail on him this quickly. And like I said, if they did, it's going to cost you an arm, a leg, and everything else that you have. So, I think we're talking fantasy hoops right now, but we always do with the Knicks. That's why we're here.
Was it Rick Brunson? I know Rick Brunson played for the Celtics at some point, and that was Leon Rose's first client.
Yeah, it would have
so
to
maybe
be what year and what's Ainge there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're just asking Celtics and player, I know Rick Brunson was there for a hot second. But look, I said on the last show, if they're going to try to rebuild that team because their books don't look great, they don't have assets to continue to build around Donovan Mitchell, I expect Donovan Mitchell to get traded. Not right now, not this offseason. But I do expect him to get traded if they are looking to rebuild that team because he's the only player that will get you a haul back in draft picks, a player, and to start fresh. So that's, I don't know, but I don't know anyone that's connected with Worldwide West or Leon Rose to go make a move for Donovan Mitchell right now, but it doesn't make sense to do so.
Right. Now, somebody in the chat mentioned that he has a no trade clause, but I don't see it here. I see that the deal includes a 30% escalator clause that would turn the guaranteed into 163 base. This is the extension that Mitchell signed. I think there's a trade kicker in there, so I don't see no trade clause. Not to say that he doesn't, but I don't see that there.
I don't think no trade clauses are that common anymore.
Right, right.
Mel was like the last player that I know of that got a no trade clause. I think the thing that's the big kicker is the trade, the percentage. If you get traded, then it increases your salary. I think that's the thing that they did instead.
Yeah, if he had a no trade clause, it'd be a no brainer.
Yeah,
he'd strong arm him. I think he'd be here yesterday if he had a no trade clause. So yeah, I don't think that's there, but we'll do some more digging and see what's good. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Oh, right on time, a $50 super chat to the rhyme animal Chuck D, man. He says, fams, once we ever get to the playoffs, anything is possible. Salute to the OG Chuck D. Salute to the rhyme animal Chuck D. Speaking of Chuck, we have some new merch coming into the store. I don't want to give out all the details just yet. Just yet because we're still finishing up the store on the back end. But once we finish that up, I'll get into something that Chuck did that was incredible for this channel that we will be unveiling to the masses. So just stay tuned for that. Shout out to Chuck. And speaking of playoffs, Al, Chuck did throw us the alley on the segue. Let's touch on some playoffs, man, because tonight you saw a ferocious Boston Celtics comeback, scoring. Let's go to the tape. 43-point fourth quarter. Milwaukee Bucks completely choked out. And we have a tie series, man. We have a tie series, a dominant fourth quarter by the Boston Celtics, 43 points. Boston wins 116-108. You had Al Horford turning back the clock, 30 points, 8 boards, 11 of 14 from the field, 5 of 7 from downtown. Jason Tatum was also outstanding. He dropped 30 in this game, 30 and 13, 5 dimes. Hey, man, this was an impressive, dominant win by the Celtics, man. What were your thoughts on the series?
Like, it was just spectacular, man. The fact that they put up 43 points in the fourth quarter, just impressive. You have to look at Jason Tatum, Al Horford leading the way with 30 points. You had solid play from Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown with 18 points each. And you're getting solid playmaking and solid play from Derek White off the bench. Celtics are not going quiet into the night. Really impressive by them. Interesting that it's 2-2 right now. I still think the Bucks are going to win this series. At this point, this may be a 7-game series is what we're getting right now because they are battling. The Celtics defense really showed up tonight in order to put the clamps on. Even though you could say the Milwaukee Bucks kind of let up in the fourth quarter, give credit to the Celtics defense for being able to hold them and making it tough to score in the paint. So I just can't. I'm more interested to see which games are going to win. Is it going to be the fact that, because they both took one, right? They both took one at each other's place.
Yeah.
So how's it going to work out for the rest? Is the home court advantage going to play out, or someone going home early?
I think this is my favorite series out right now, because it's just so evenly matched, man. And I was concerned with how Boston was going to fare in this game without the Time Lord. Robert Williams was a late game scratch with a knee injury. And like you said, man, that fourth quarter defense was really good. And again, that's with the defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart. drew a big charge on the freak. And we all know with the Bucks offense that when it bogs down, it could be really bad, because you get a lot of the freak forcing it inside and pounding the rock. And I thought that's where the Bucks got into some trouble. You still had some nice threes by Connaughton, and Grayson Allen hit some later on in the game, Wesley Matthews as well. But the Bucks just got to keep moving the rock. And I thought they got a little bit too lazy with it in the fourth. It was a very physical game too, man. Very physical game. A lot of bodies hitting the floor. The Greek freak got hurt. Connaughton got hurt in this game. There were a lot of bodies hitting the floor. It was a very physical game. So this is going to be interesting. I think it will go 7. But Boston really, really made a statement here. I made a mistake. I marked Al Horford's career done after he got traded from the Thunder back to Boston. I did think he would help the Celtics a little bit, just as like that vet presence. But he's been a major piece in the playoffs for them. A major piece. 30 points tonight, 16 points in the fourth. He couldn't miss. He dunked it on the freak. 5 of 7 from downtown. 8 boards, 3 dimes, a steal. Al Horford has been tremendous, man. So give credit to them. Excellent win by the Boston Celtics tying this thing up. Right now, you have at the half, you have the Grizzlies with a 3-point lead over the Dubs. And, Grizzlies with no John Morant, knee injury, had the controversy with Jordan Poole. He felt like Jordan Poole tried to injure him. I didn't really see it that way. But, as they say, this Grizzlies team has the chemistry to, they fared well without John Morant. How will it be in the playoffs? Well, they're hanging in tough right now, man, 41-38. What's been your take on the series so far?
This is my second favorite series to follow. It's really nice that the Celtics, Bucks, Warriors, Grizzlies are matched up because it's really good back-to-back games so far when it comes to basketball. But I find it interesting right now. Steven Adams was a liability, but now he's back in the rotation. He got back in late last game after Ja got hurt, but now you see that he got 15 minutes to start this game. Looks like they want to get some presence in the paint in order to utilize him. He's 3 for 6, got 6 points right now. He's got 10 rebounds. He's a good machine when it comes to cleaning the glass. But are we really shocked? I mean, they were able to do this without John Morant when he missed part of the season. Not saying that they're better with John Morant gone. All I'm saying is that we've seen the Grizzlies perform without John Morant, having Tyus Jones in the starting lineup, which kind of brings up why teams, especially like the Knicks, are looking at Tyus Jones. Although I get it, great assist to turnover ratio, traditional point guard, brings up the ball, will protect the rock, very efficient in his shot selection. He's not going to go. He plays within his envelope, right? He doesn't go too far out. So I'm not surprised that they got a 3-point lead right now. I don't expect this to stay. I expect the Warriors to kick it into gear. Jordan Poole isn't shooting well right now, but I feel like he's going to turn it up in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's interesting that the Grizzlies are keeping it tight, with Dylan Brooks still struggling, man. Dude is building a brick house. 1 for 6 tonight in his return back from the 1-game suspension. Game 1, he shot terribly. Game 2, he had the quick hook, and he was suspended for Game 3. It's starting back up in the second half now. We'll see how they fare there, but it'd be interesting if Memphis can take this and really make this series interesting going back to Memphis. Then you have Dallas and the Suns.
Woo!
Dallas and the Suns. This thing has turned the tides very quickly. Both teams winning 2 at home, respectively. I think the difference here with Dallas going home is, number one, their defense has been very intense. I think their defense has been great. Chris Paul has been flustered. Both of these 2 games, I think that between, Bullock's intensity, Finney-Smith, Brunson, these guys are getting after it on the defensive end, man, and they're really making these guys work. Force a ton of turnovers by Chris Paul, and then in yesterday's game, he got into foul trouble. So he's really, really a non-factor. Only played about 4 minutes, I believe, in the second half total. So he got into a lot of foul trouble. And Dallas' supporting cast is stepping up, man. Like I said, Finney-Smith, Bullock has had his moments. Brunson is bouncing back. Now they're helping Luka Doncic, who's been Doncic. and that's what you want, man. So it's getting interesting right now. I think this series could go 7.
It's going to be interesting because they have Dwight Powell as their center, and that's just not a good matchup between him and Ayton. I mean, Ayton is just a beast when it comes to playing in the paint. But the guy that needs to step up is Spencer Dinwiddie coming off the bench. You know, you have Maxi Kleber, you have Davis Bertans, who are making their fair share of contributions.
Well,
yeah, but you need Spencer Dinwiddie to also play well. I mean, that's the guy who they're kind of relying on, who kind of helped during the end of the regular season, really got them back on track, especially with them. It was with him, Luka, and Brunson all together on the court. So Dinwiddie's got to show up if this team even wants to keep it close and have a chance. But I still think the Suns are going to pull this one out, man. I feel like Chris Paul is going to come back with a vengeance.
Oh yeah,
fouled out, angry.
Yeah.
You saw the fan was messing with his family.
Yeah, that's messed up.
That's crossing the line.
Mm-hmm.
Should never happen. But I think all of that, Chris Paul likes to have these like angry comeback games. So I'm expecting a top-notch performance from Chris Paul in the next one.
Yeah, no question about it. I think he's going to come out fired up, and they'll be at home, and you know they'll make their adjustments. But Dallas is making it interesting, man. You want to see a good series, and I think this one has certainly gotten that way. So we'll see what happens there.
You think it goes 7?
I think it's going to go 7. I think it's going to go 7. Yeah, I think Phoenix will win 5. I think Dallas will win 6, and I think they'll take it back to Phoenix for 7. Yeah, I think this one goes 7. Really do. And then the nightcap, you had the return of the process, the masked man, the guy who got robbed for the MVP. We'll get to that after this. But Philly now balancing the scales here in this series, winning both of the games at home. Obviously, Game 3 being the most critical of the 4. And in Game 4, you had, the process. Joel Embiid, he's getting back into the swing of things, getting used to the mask, but had a better game last night. You had Danny Green with a good shooting night last night as well. And then most importantly, bro, the beard stepped up. The beard finally appeared and was dominant. Not dominant. He was very good in the fourth quarter, though. Very good in the fourth quarter. I thought James Harden made some really, really clutch plays in that fourth that really, extended the lead a little bit. 31 points on 9 dimes, 6 of 10 from 3. His shot creation, his shot bag was back. He doesn't have that same burst where he kind of does a little hot sauce between the leg dribble and burst by you to get to the lane. He doesn't have that same burst, but he was on point last night. James Harden, to me, was the biggest difference in getting that separation from Miami last night, because Jimmy was cooking. Jimmy was absolutely cooking. 40 points. Playoff Jimmy was in his bag all night. But Harden, to me, was the difference maker.
Oh, for sure. And, it helps when you have your MVP candidate back on the court as well, because they were struggling without him. But Joel Embiid, Bam Adebayo, good matchup. I think Embiid is just too big, too much of a body to handle. I mean, there's a reason why he was the MVP consideration. And you just saw it also last night. He still put up 24 points, got you 11 rebounds. Like, he is just truly a force when he's on the court. James Harden, you're going to need games like this from James Harden if you're going to win. Is he going to show? It's so hard to know if he's going to keep showing up like this. But what Philly really needs is their bench to step up, because their bench, you got Shake.
I didn't like that.
Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle, Paul Reed, Niang.
Not good.
Not solid bench. Not a solid bench whatsoever. So I would expect Miami to win this series just because they have the depth. But if you get this performance that you got last night, because Jimmy Butler dropped 40, although Miami hasn't really been shooting really well. Kyle Lowry's kind of been, he's been very shaky, man. He has not been a good series for Kyle Lowry at all. Yeah. And even looking at Tyler Hero, not that great either. So this one could also go the distance. I think this one could also go 7. But a fun fact, Miami Heat, when they're up 2-0 in a series, undefeated, 16-0. Philly, on the other hand, when they're down 0-2, 0-13, never won.
We'll see what gives, man. We'll see what gives. This is an interesting series. Like I said, Miami's offense, like you said, it can get cold. Jimmy was cooking, but Hero didn't have it. You know, Bam was okay. Bam had to take on Embiid a lot of times, so, you know, it was a rough night for him. Hero was quiet. And you know, Oladipo had his moments, but this is going to get interesting. I don't like Philly's bench at all. I don't like their bench at all, and this is why it's very important for the Beard to step up. It's very important for the Beard to step up. You know, Maxi's been producing. Embiid had a solid night last night, but if Harden's not Harden, Philly's not winning this.
That's for
Philly's
sure.
Not winning this. Now, let's hit this. So to everybody in the chat once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let's hit this MVP topic here, because it was announced today that Nikola Jokic won the MVP. And look, my take is this, real rapid fire. I said this on Twitter and on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at CP the Franchise. You can't take it away from Jokic. You know, a lot of people, I think, jumped out on a limb, said Embiid was robbed. No, I'm not gonna go out that way. He wasn't robbed. The Joker had a great year, another solid year, fantastic year. All right, you can't take it away from him. You know, almost averaged a triple-double on the campaign, 27, 13, and 8. His guys were down. He didn't have the manpower. You can't take it away from him. To me, bro, like I said, there's many years where choosing the MVP is like splitting hairs. I don't necessarily think there's some years where I don't necessarily think that there's just one guy clear cut over the rest. I think you can make an argument for different guys. And this was a year where I felt like Embiid should have got it. I felt like he should have got it. He had no Simmons this year.
Mm-hmm.
Led the league in scoring as a center.
Yep.
Led the league in scoring. His assist numbers went up. No, it wasn't Jokic levels, but his assist numbers went up. And his team was better. But he was the factor that led his team to wins. A lot of people want to say, well, he had Maxey, he had this guy. He made Maxey better. He made Maxey better. He made these guys better. Look at what he did last night. The attention that he commands. He's the most dominant player in the league. To me, that is the MVP. He's the most dominant player in the league. And to me, you gave it to Jokic last year. I would have gave it to Embiid, man. And not just as a feel-good story. I think he earned it. Let him get that. Let him get the incentives that come with the MVP, the endorsements that come with the MVP, the branding that come with the MVP. Jokic got that shine last year. I thought this was for Embiid this year. He may not have a better chance to get it than this year. He was dominant, bro. Dominant.
That's a fact.
Dominant.
Everything you say, I agree with. And to add to that, he played 68 games, the most is his entire NBA career that he played. This was a chance for Embiid to win it. I agree 100%. To play devil's advocate, you could say, well, what did Jokic do for a team without his running mate in Jamal Murray? What did he do without Michael Porter Jr.? You can make those cases. And I hear you. I could hear anyone who says, well, you know what Jokic does and the value he brings to the team. Without Jokic, you got nothing. But you could obviously do the same thing for what you said for Embiid. And obviously it doesn't count because it's not postseason is not taken into consideration. It's a regular season award. They're still going. But it is what it is, man. I think this year they should have given it to Embiid for everything that you stated. There's honestly nothing else to really add to it.
I'm not saying Jokic wasn't deserving.
And that's the thing.
I would have gave it to Embiid this year.
But
Giannis got his. Jokic got his. Embiid should have got his this year.
But here's the thing I'll say. The thing for MVP changes like every single season. I have no idea how MVP is decided. I understand it's the most valuable player. We understand the title. But it changes like every single season. Is it, how good is the team with the guy and what it would be without the guy? Is it like how much is he taking a lesser team to where it is? Like it keeps changing every single season. I feel like there needs to be some consistency when it comes to how do you choose this player. It's like we know how to choose 6 man of the year. We understand how to choose coach of the year. We understand all these other awards, but when it gets to the MVP, it really feels like what narrative is strong towards the end of the season and a popularity contest. And I feel like this season, you could say, sure, the numbers help Nikola Jokic, but I also think there's a little bit of popularity that went with it as well because he's the fun passing big. You watch him play, it's like, oh my God,
and,
look,
and
he's got
that's
that
great,
ball on
bro.
the string.
And that's great. Listen, Jokic is a better point guard than half the guys in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying?
This is nothing taking away. This is not taking away Jokic's talent. He's a great talent.
Yeah.
Absolutely great talent. But it feels like every single season, unless he was like completely dominant this season, where I can get that. But it feels like you could have just given it to Embiid because Embiid was just that dominant, as you said.
I would have gave it to him, man. I just would have gave it to him. What do you guys think in the chat? Would you have given it to Embiid this year, or did you feel like the Joker was head and shoulders the MVP candidate? Now, speaking of Embiid, he and the Sixers, like I said, are still contending here in the playoffs, and I'm still contending in the playoffs with Prize Picks, ladies and gentlemen. Prize Picks, NBA daily NBA fantasy made easy, man. Prize Picks is the over and under prop game that we play here at KnicksFanTV. Try your luck at home with Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com, enter promo code KFTV, and they will match your deposit of up to $100, 100%. So if you deposit $20, they'll give you $20 as a bonus. You have $40 to play with, and here's how you play. I'll show you guys how to play Prize Picks. So when you go into Prize Picks console, you're going to have multiple sports at the top. You'll have baseball, you have the hockey playoffs going on, you have basketball playoffs going on. And all you need to do is pick between 2 and 5 players, and you're going to predict whether they go over or under the given stats that Prize Picks has selected, the Prize Picks odds makers has selected. So it's you versus the house. It's not you versus other players like FanDuel. This is just you versus the house. You make your predictions. If you pick 5, you have a chance to win up to 10 times your money. So tonight, I put in $20 for a chance to win 200, and here's where I went. Jordan Poole out, one of the hottest players in the playoffs right now, an actual lightning rod in this series against the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm going with Jordan Poole over 20.5 points tonight, and Jordan Poole right now has 4. So we'll see what happens there with young Jordan Poole. Now with no John Morant, I went with Jaren Jackson over 16.5 points. Right now he has 12 in the third quarter, and so I'm pretty confident that he should hit that. He needs a couple more. He needs 5 more points to break that. I think Jaren Jackson will get that. The rest, I went with tomorrow night's games. I went with Phoenix and Dallas. I went Luka Doncic under 31.5 points. I think, like I said, when this thing goes back to Phoenix, I feel like the Suns' defense will get turned up a bit. And even though Doncic says it's going well, he's been scoring very well, 45, 25, 20, 27, I believe, in the last 3. I think they'll hold him under 31.5 points. So I'm going Luka Doncic under. The next selection I made was the points, rebounds, and assists category. This is my favorite category to play on Prize Picks. And I went with, where did I go on this one tonight? Devin Booker. I'm going Book with a monster game tomorrow night. I'm going over 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Book. And Al, you said this man is going to come out ferocious next game, and I think so too. I'm going CP3 over 8.5 assists in Game 5 at home against the Mavericks. So those are my 5 picks. We'll see if Jordan Poole catches some fire right now in the second half. I like where Jaren Jackson is headed. And then tomorrow night we got Luka, Booker, and Chris Paul. Play to win. Play responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. Go to prizepicks.com and a promo code KFTV. And like I said, they will match your deposit with a bonus deposit up to $100. Okay, Al. Last segment of the night. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. The lottery's coming up May 17th. Real quick on the lottery. For those of you watching that are down in South Beach, your boy will be down there. I'm hosting the lottery watch party from South Beach on May 17th, 8 p.m. We're going to meet at the Clevelander Hotel on 10th and Ocean at 7 p.m. Meet me there at the Outside Bar. For those of you down there in South Florida, in the Miami-Dade area, in the Fort Lauderdale area, come through, holla at your boy. We will be at the Clevelander for the lottery. We'll do our live reactions to the lottery, and then we will do our live show, taking your phone calls and your draft predictions based on where we pick. So it's going to be a great show, great night. Meet me down there if you guys are in the Miami-Dade area. But anyway, yeah, Knicks have been in the lottery for many, many years. Hasn't always been great. But we made a top 10 lottery era draft picks for the Knicks. Not just lottery picks, but our top 10 draft picks of the lottery era. Now, you and I made our selections. I'm going to let you go first with yours. And then we'll jump in mine, man. All right.
So you just want me to run down through 1 through 10 or 10 through 1? How's it going?
Let's go 10 through 1. Hang on. Let me get your set up here going.
All right. And let's explain, because I know it's the lottery era. So it's 1985. That's when the lottery first came in.
Shout out to Ewing.
To now.
Yep.
Shout out to Ewing. And you had to have been drafted technically by the Knicks. It can't be like, for example, just like how Kobe Bryant, even though he played for the Lakers, he was technically drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, traded to the LA Lakers. So Emmanuel quickly would not qualify for this list because he was selected by the Thunder, but traded to the Knicks. So you had to have been drafted by the Knicks outright.
All right. So are you ready to go, sir? Here we go.
All right.
Here's the big reveal. This is Alex's list. Let's go.
1 through 10? 1 through 10, right?
10 through 1. Let's go.
10 through 1. 10 through 1. All right,
go.
here we go. Number 10, Obi Toppin. Number 9, R.J. Barrett. Number 8, Channing Frye. Number 7, Iman Shumpert. Number 6, Danilo Gallinari. Number 5, Charlie Ward. Number 4, Rod Strickland. Number 3, David Lee. Number 2, Mark Jackson. And number 1, in the first year of the lottery,
First
NBA history,
year of the lottery,
Patrick Ewing, number 1 overall pick.
Now, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with you here, man. You put RJ number 9?
Yes.
You put RJ number... You gotta give me your logic on this, bro.
Okay. So as we discussed, this is careers. Yeah. This is not just Nick's career. It's the entire career. When I was making this list, I'm thinking, how much of a dent have they made in their careers that I could put them over somebody?
Okay.
When I look at Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett, they haven't even made a complete dent into their NBA careers yet. So that's why they're on the bottom of the totem pole. You look at someone like Channing Frye, NBA champion. Iman Shumpert, NBA champion. Danilo Gallinari still going in. What is it? He's going into, what is it right now? He's going into, I forget what season it is. He's been in the league for like 10 to 12 years. Yeah. All right. He's had 6 postseason appearances. That's why he's there. Charlie Ward.
Danilo was drafted in 2008. So he's a vet. He's a vet. He's got, what's Danilo? Yeah, he's 33 already, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's been around for a minute.
12 years in the league.
Charlie Ward, 7 seasons in the playoffs with the Knicks. Okay? Mm-hmm. With the New York Knicks. Last guy to be re-signed by the Knicks. And then Rod Strickland, even though he was traded the year I was born. Yeah. I mean, just his career. I mean, he led the league in assists. He's had 11 postseason appearances. Just a dynamic player. I also took into factor like how their play styles, how talented they were too. RJ, Obi, they're still working on their games. These guys were established. They had some certain role carved out for them. They're still trying to scratch the surface of knowing what they will be in this league. So that's why they're down there, and everyone else is where they are on my list.
You're wilding with Charlie Ward, my guy. Wilding with Charlie Ward. Wilding. And I'm a Ward guy. Shout out to Charlie Ward, man. We got to break the curse of Charlie Ward. He was a guest. He's a friend of the program, a guest of the program. You're wilding with Charlie Ward, man. Absolutely. And one thing for the fans at home watching, when we rank this list, we're not just talking about their Knicks careers. We're talking about overall careers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So we're factoring in, championships and all of that. Okay. So you went Obi 10, RJ 9, Channing Frye 8, Shumpert 7, number 6 Danilo, number 5 Charlie Ward, Rod Strickland, Hot Rod, David Lee, number 3, Mark Jackson, number 2, got passed up for the Sacramento job. Feel like they're just interviewing him now just to check off a box. And Patrick Ewing, the captain. What are you guys thinking in the chat, man? Rate Alex's list. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. Rate it in the chat right now. Give me a 1 through 5. Rate Alex's list. All right, here's my list. It's stark contrast to yours, man. I got a lot of differences here. Oh, here we go. Here's my list. Okay. All right. I also think he disrespected my guy, Broadway Barrett. All right, but let me start with number 10. I'm going with Shump. Okay? I'm going with Shump at number 10. 17th pick in 2011 by the Knicks. Who remembers when we picked Shump and Melo jumped on Twitter and was like, what is this? Melo was looking to draft this guy, Josh Shelby, who from Maryland. And Josh Shelby, who went to Kansas, never materialized as an NBA player, completely flamed out. Melo was completely off board with the Shumpert pick that he had to go on Twitter to vent. He was not a fan. But anyway, Shumpert out of Georgia Tech, man. Look, I had hopes for Shump. I thought he could really be a solid defensive wing, a guard. He could play a little point, play a little two. Never materialized. Did tear his ACL in the Miami series. Had a strong effort for us against the Pacers. I never forget when we tried to come back in that game. I believe it was game 5 or game 6. Try to come back for us in Indiana, but it just wasn't meant to be. Shump played well. He played hard for us, but it just wasn't consistent enough. Never had a consistent enough jumper for us. So I put him at 10. Did go on to win a ring with LeBron, and then once he got his act together. So congratulations to him. But I'm putting Shump at 10. Number 9, Channing Frye. I thought Channing Frye had a pretty good career. Was a solid rookie as a Knick. 8 points, 4 boards for Channing Frye. Did go on, I thought he had a solid career with the Phoenix Suns. With Nash and Amari. I thought he was a nice stretch 5 for them. Ended up winning a ring with the Cavs, also with Shumpert. I'm putting Channing at number 9. Number 8, I'm going Obi. Obi Hive, stand up. Forget about that dud pick stuff. I'm going Obi. He's not number 9. He's not number 10. He's number 8. I'm future planning. I think Obi Toppin is going to have a solid career. I think he's going to put up better numbers than these guys. I think he's going to put up some solid numbers depending on how many minutes he gets. And I think Obi's going to be a solid player. So I'm future planning there for Obi. I'm putting him 8. Number 7, look, I think Danilo's had a good career, man. When he got traded to, I didn't want to see him get traded in the Melo deal. He had a good career with Denver, still hanging tough. He had a couple of years where he averaged 19 and change. Shot the ball fairly well from 3. His best year, he averaged 19 point shot, 43% from 3 with the Clippers, actually. Yeah, he had a good year with the Clippers. And he's bounced around in the league, but I think that Danilo's had a good career, man. We didn't know how he was going to hold up coming over from Italy, and obviously the stigma with the European players and so on. But Danilo's carved out a good career for himself. Played well against us with the Hawks last year, and he's still kicking. So Danilo's number 7. Al, you didn't have Kristaps Porzingis on your list.
Yeah, I got an issue with this one. All right,
is the hate so real that you can't put Kristaps Porzingis on your list?
Yes.
Talk about it, man. Let's go, bro. Let's go.
Come on, dude. This guy quit on the team. He wanted to get out of here. I cannot put you on a list if you want to get up and out of here. All right. He wanted to trade his brother. All of that together made a mess. All right. Made a mess. We could have had him and Mitch. Sure. I get it. All-star. He got his all-star. Wasn't able to play because he tore his ACL. Good player. Was truly a unicorn. Truly a unicorn. But let's also look at his career right now, because we were also factoring the career.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting that he gets traded and now Luka Doncic is able to go past the first round? He's tied 2-2 against the Phoenix Suns.
Hey, he listen, I can't say that he wasn't a liability with Dallas. They were able to get rid of him quick, fast, in a hurry for his boy Bertans, which I thought was very ironic. But nevertheless, my guy, Kristaps, he's still averaging 18 and 7 on his career. The year he got traded before he tore the ACL for us, bro, he averaged, and I know it was only half a year, he averaged 22, 6, 2.4 blocks on 40% shooting. Do you remember that year that Porzingis had before he got injured?
I did.
I
had a lot of hope.
Unbelievable for us, bro. The block shots, the big game. Kristaps had a lot of big games for us that year, man. 2017-18, he made the All-Star game.
Soured out, man. I take that into consideration. I do take that into consideration. You said the truth would come out. I am still waiting for the truth to come out. Still waiting.
I still got to put the talent in there. I'm putting Kristaps.
Talented. Sure.
I'm putting Kristaps at number 6. Number 5, you got to go with Hot Rod Strickland, man. You got to go with Hot Rod Strickland. His Knicks career didn't pan out to be much. Young guy made mistakes, wanted to trade out, got his trade, but he went on to have a great career with several teams, namely, his Wizards, Blazers. He had a great career. Rod Strickland finished 13th all time in assists. Let's not forget that. But he had some great years with the Wizards, great years with the Blazers as well, and carved out a solid career for himself. Wasn't able to do too much with the Knicks. He was on that team that went on to beat the Sixers, the Broom game, swept the Sixers, and then they lost in the second round. I believe it was to the Bulls, in 88-89. I believe they lost to the Bulls 88-89. Shout out to Hot Rod Strickland, man. Yeah, they lost to the Bulls in the second round. Shout out to Hot Rod Strickland. I'm putting him at number 5. At number 4, I'm going with Broadway Barrett, man. The disrespect was too real. You put him at number 9 on your list. I'm baking in future potential. RJ Barrett will eventually go up to number 2, but for right now, I'm putting him at number 4 because I just felt like that was his rightful place in this top 10. He's going to get there. Broadway's going to get there, and I believe he will do so in a Knicks uniform.
I agree with you. Right now. I agree with you. Yeah. I'm just focusing on what have they done recently. I'm more of a what has happened.
Yeah.
I believe RJ will be a great player, just like you. I need to see, but when I go into evaluation, still, once again, going back to, has he scratched the surface? We talk about has to improve his offensive game, right? We see a little bit of defensive struggles this year, getting beat on back doors.
Yeah.
Not saying that he won't be a great player. Not saying that he won't be a contributor to this team and impact winning on this team for a long time. I think that he will. But his career is too early. One playoff appearance, it's too early. It's too early for me to put him that high. Same thing with Obi. One playoff appearance. Like in the season that I'm talking about. Not one game, just like one season they both been in the playoffs together. It's a little too early for me.
Now the next one, David Lee. Yeah, it is a typo there. No, he wasn't drafted in 1983. It was 2005. So Gamba, we had a little typo there, man. We got to clean that up. So David Lee was drafted in 2005. Still had a good career for us, man. He had a good career for us. He had a good NBA career. Won a chip with the Dubs. Got to spend some time with the Spurs. 13-8. Finished shooting 53% from the field. Shout out to D Lee, man. He was a great pro. Really, really caught us by surprise. At least me, when he came in. 30th overall. He was
Absolutely.
A rebounding machine. D Lee always had a knack for the ball. Mid-range was potent.
Yep.
Had some hidden athleticism. Remember he was in the McDonald's All-American High School dunk contest. Him and James White went at it. D Lee was balling for us. And obviously you had to go for the big name. You had to go get Amari, but it was tough losing him, and he went on to have a great career.
It was, and even more to add on to that, because I had David Lee number 3 as well. If you look at Knicks history in total and averages now, like per game and per season averages, he's 5th in offensive rebounds at 2.8. He's 5th in defensive rebounds at 6.8. He's also 5th in field goal percentage at 55.7. We're talking about an NBA champion. Honestly, I thought he was the most instrumental part in the Warriors winning of that championship. They were struggling against the Cavs, even though it was a depleted team. You bring David Lee back in, and he started passing, he started shooting, and I feel like he was the key that really helped the Golden State Warriors win that series. 12-year NBA career, 5 seasons in the postseason, double-double machine, 2-time NBA All-Star.
Machine. Double machine, man. Next up, we got to put some respect on Action Jackson's name. Got to put some respect on his name, man. Got to.
Absolutely.
Got to put some respect on his name. 5th all-time in the NBA assist leaders. Will LeBron catch him? LeBron's like 300 assists away. Will LeBron catch Action Jackson? I don't know. 10,334 all-time assists. When we talk about point guards, floor general, should have stayed a Knick. Charles Smith trade, one of the worst trades ever. Terrible. Mark Jackson, easily number 2. And the captain number 1, man. Easy. You know, the captain number 1 on our list. Patrick Ewing, put some respect on his name.
I mean, the man has his number retired.
Yeah.
Literally has his number retired. But I want to go on for a whole thing for Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Averages. When it comes to averages for the team for Knicks history, he averaged 8 assists, which leads the history in averages. 5th in steals when it comes to averages, 1.4 steals. When it comes to totals, 2nd in total assists on the team, 4,005 assists, right behind Walt Clyde Frazier with 4,791, 6th in steals with 720. He had 1 All-Star appearance, 14 seasons in the postseason. 14. Started 109 out of 131 games in the postseason. And when he led the league in assists for averages, 11.4 in 1996 to 1997, he started off with Denver, then got traded right back to Indiana.
Beast mode, man. Shout out to Mark. And remember, people, this is just lottery era. So I see people saying Bill Cartwright, all the OGs in the chat now talking about what about Frazier and Reed. Of course we would have had them. This is a lottery era. The lottery started in 85. So we're starting from Ewing on down. And Ewing's best year, bro. His best season was 89-90 season, All-Star. Of course he was an All-Star. Of course. So All-Star every year of his prime.
11-time NBA All-Star.
Except for a second year. He wasn't. 28, 10 rebounds, 4 block shots. Put some respect on his name. Oak. Our best player this franchise has ever seen. Period. Put some respect on his name, man.
13 postseason appearances.
That's right. Put some respect on his name. That is the captain, Patrick Ewing. So that's our list, ladies and gentlemen. What did you guys think about it? We had some honorable mentions out. Wilson Chandler. I thought Will the Thrill was a good pick.
Yep.
You know, he could have made it in there. I thought Trevor Ariza was a decent one. Could have got Ariza in there. Could have snuck Ariza in there a little bit. Somebody in chat said Landry Fields. Hell no. One hit wonder. Wilson Chandler. I thought he also had a decent career with Denver. Mm-hmm. And could have squeezed on this list for Shump. I don't know. You know, but
the only thing for Shump is that he got the chip and he played some key minutes in the postseason. Yeah, coming off the bench for that Cavs team. Mm-hmm. You know, defensive guy, sure, streaky score, but he got minutes. I mean, he started even the one season when Kyrie went down and he lost Kevin Love, but he was playing about 20 minutes per postseason. On that team, very important. You know. Was it him and JR calling him one man's trash is another man's treasure when Phil Jackson traded those guys?
Good job, Phil. And now Phil's in charge of running the Lakers. They said they're putting Phil in charge of the Lakers offseason. Good luck.
With LeBron over there.
Good luck. Good luck to Phil. Greg Anthony, hell no. No thanks. Somebody in the chat said Nate. Nate was not a draft pick by the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. He was not a draft pick by the Knicks. He was a draft pick of the Phoenix Suns. It's a little trivia. That might have to be some draft trivia, bro, for draft night.
Yeah, who drafted what player, then traded them? That'd be a good trivia.
That's right. Nate was a draft pick of the Phoenix Suns and was traded to the Knicks along with Q Rich. Yeah.
That's the one thing the NBA needs to change. When a pick gets traded, it has to be like the NFL, man. Just give him the hat, make him part of the team.
Yeah.
Stop that. Oh, they were drafted by whoever and then traded. It's just messy.
Yeah.
It's just really messy.
Yeah. Timmy would have been a good pick. I was thinking about Timmy to throw him on.
I was thinking about Tim Hardaway Jr. too.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it.
You had Charlie.
Like once again, I'm looking at these guys' resumes.
You're a big Charlie
like,
Ward guy, man. You really put Charlie Ward in your joint, man.
You want to know why I did it?
Yeah.
Only guy to be extended, last guy to be extended.
Look, Charlie was tough, man. He was gritty. He was tough.
He was also there for the postseason. Come on, he was there in 99, 2000.
Hey, Mother's Day against the Heat had a great series, that 2000 series. Charlie was gritty, man. He was gritty. Could have put Timmy in there. Could have definitely put Timmy in there.
Could have.
But the Hardaway name is just, I never really came around to be a fan of his. His pops was just too much of an enemy of ours. I couldn't really support him that much. But yeah, man, good list. All right, let's wrap the show up. We got one more call on the line. Let's get to them and then wrap things up. Great show, everybody. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Area code 917. What's your name? Where you tapping it from?
Yo, CP, Alex, what's good? It's JJ from Brooklyn. How you guys doing, man?
What's good,
man?
JJ? How you feeling?
What up? What's good? Doing good, man. How's the off season treating you guys? Or as my Cardozo brother Jay Boogie perfectly says it, the on season.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Enjoying
good,
the playoffs
good.
and
Yeah,
we're still
sure.
cranking out content and whatnot. So it's all good.
Absolutely. Yeah. A couple quick points, man. The Knicks, man, like we just got to choose a direction. It's kind of like half in, half rebuild, halfway going for it. Like, we got to be honest with where we are as a franchise, but we also got to be honest with the way the Eastern Conference is right now. Let's be real. The East is a bear. It's loaded, man. Yeah. Look at the teams that were in the plane this year. The Nets, the Cavs, we're not better than those teams next year. Yeah. The Hawks and the Hornets were 9th and 10th.
Top to bottom, the East was better than the West, which is why Embiid is the MVP. Don't give me Jokic was number 6 seed in the West. The East was better than the West this year, people.
True, for sure.
That's
the one thing.
That's
though,
another
the
reason I'm giving the MVP to Embiid. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. The thing though with Jokic, real quick, and I'll get back to my point is you got to give him credit because, again, it could have went either way. Either way you couldn't. But my thing is, let's be real. He lost his 2 best players, Porter and Murray were out for the whole year. So to lead them, like you said, the West wasn't great this year, but still, I mean, he's got Jeff Green starting winning this year. And, if you look at that roster, it was not good. So you got to give him, some credit with, on that point, but either way, I don't think anybody was robbed.
No.
But,
no,
but yeah. So, and then the Knicks point. So it's just, I just think we got to commit. I hate to say it, to a full rebuild. We got to build with the youth. Next year's draft, it's going to be loaded, just loaded with potential, right? But potential franchise-changing players. It's going to be stacked, like 20, 25 deep, where you can get really, really good players. So instead of just kind of battling for a play-in, even if we make, say, a couple good moves, we're still probably a 9 seed, 10 seed. Best case. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, the East is just so loaded. It just doesn't make sense to go for it right now. Like, we just got to play the youth, get rid of some of these bets. You see who improves. You hope RJ takes a leap, and you see what happens with Mitch. If they sign Mitch, you hope Obi takes a leap. You hope Cam reaches his potential. But just the thing that frustrates me is I don't think it's going to happen. With Tibbs as the coach and this front office, maybe thinking their jobs are on the line, and Dolan, I just don't think they're going to go that route, which does bother me because I just don't see the sense in going for it right now. Like, okay, say we traded for Mitchell, right? Where even with him, where are we going? Plus the assets we're gonna give up, you're gonna have Mitchell and what else? It just doesn't make sense right now at this time. I just think rebuilding, I think, is the only way to go. Rebuilding with the youth and building through the draft. I think that's the only way out of this, like mediocrity and no man's land, whatever you want to call it. I just think that's the best way right now. But, yeah, that's it, man. You guys have a great one, all right?
All right, man.
Take care,
fellas. Take it easy.
Thanks, man.
JJ on the check-in. Look, I think this team has been rebuilding. You know, I think they have been rebuilding. At the same time, yeah, you're still going to bring in vets to balance your team. Now, what JJ's saying, I think he's right. You got to find the right balance. They're not going to be OKC. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be OKC bad. And I think that's part of the issue is that they were still competitive. And so, you know, we'll see what happens in the lottery. You know, what do they have? A 4% chance at number one, 2% chance? You know, I think if you're looking for them to build like the Thunder, it's never going to happen. Not in this town. It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I mean, we've legitimately been through a time period where we had Isaiah Hicks on this team, Luke Cornett. It was kind of tough selling that team too. Kyle O'Quinn, like I like those guys. Don't get me wrong, like those guys, but it was tough selling those guys to watch on a nightly basis. And that's the business aspect of this game, right? You want to bring in marquee players, bring in the fans, make sure there's some interest. The diehards we're going to be watching, but it's more than the diehards when it comes to looking at business. You want to bring other people too.
Hey, what that report say? The Knicks ticket is the most expensive in town. A family of 4, you're dropping damn near $1,000 on this ticket. All right, they're not coming out. This ain't OKC, where you're getting buy one get 3 free. No. You're paying premium for your ticket here, pal. So it's just the nature of the beast, man.
But you know what? The Nets and Barclays Center lost between $50 million and $100 million combined during the 2021-2022 season. So,
hey,
still winning.
Hey, what I try to tell them, no one cares about the Nets. Oh, you're hating. This is Brooklyn. We're so cool. We got all this stuff. Okay. All right. How much did they lose? $100 million.
50 to 100 million combined between the Nets and Barclays.
Because no one cares. You know, the homie hit me up last week, my bro, and he's a Brooklynite through and through. Mm-hmm. And you know, he's one of those tweener fans. So like he'll come to the Knicks game, you know, support me and whatnot. But he's at Barclays, you know, and they're wheeling and dealing him with the sweet packages or with the season ticket packages, and he's talking about, you know, he's comparing their food setup to Delta Club and all that, and he's like, yo, MSG is so expensive. I'm like, oh, it's a premium, man. You know, it's a premium.
Sadly,
yeah.
Sadly, you got to pay a lot to go to enjoy a Knicks game.
$987. What was the average price again for a Knicks ticket for 4? $987 for a family of 4 to go to a Knicks game between tickets, food, and everything. Man, shout out to the good people. Shout out to the good people at the Mike's Hot Honey Chicken Stand who was able to give me some chicken fingers and fries on the arm. It's hard times out here. You know what I'm saying? They're looking out for you, boy. They noticed me. They noticed me from the show. So I appreciate it. You know, I was walking around just looking for just, you know, a couple of crumbs. Because, you know, God don't take care of me, man. Dolan and them, they don't take care of me. You know, I try to talk to Wes and those guys. I'm not there yet with them, you know. So shout out to the good people at the Chicken Stand for looking out for your boy and the hard work that we put in over the season, man. They gave me a little box of chicken fingers and fries. I was very grateful, you know, for some food.
Wait a minute. I thought I had a picture of you with Worldwide West and Leon Rose.
That wasn't me, man. That was not me, man. That was a Photoshop. Oh, that's CAA stuff. It's just a gimmick, ladies and gentlemen. They do not rock with your boy. Your boy's not an insider by any stretch. I'm lucky I get to film pregame shoot around. You know what I mean?
And keyword is yet.
Yeah, and after the Randall fiasco, I was even more lucky to be in the building and not be escorted out of there. So we'll see. Right now, hey, Memphis is holding on to a 4-point lead, bro.
Yo, they've been in these spots before, man. That's what I'm telling you. They have done this without John Morant.
Yeah, don't sleep, man. 4-point lead. 5 minutes ago, here goes the chef with the pull-up three. Ooh, knocks it down. 1-point game now.
Nasty.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna check this out. Wrap up with this, but great show, bro. Just for the people at home, once again, quick announcements. Great show, Al. Great show, Chuck. Great show, all the mods, man. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. So next week, how it's gonna go? We're not gonna do weekly next week because I'm gonna be in Miami I'll be in Miami. Tuesday, we'll do the lottery show from Miami. Everybody in the Miami-Dade area, Fort Lauderdale, wherever you guys at in Florida, man, come down, come holler at your boy. We're doing a Knicks fan meetup out there. We'll be at the Clevelander, 7 p.m. Eastern time sharp. We'll live stream from the Clevelander, live reactions. Everybody at home, go ahead and tune in. And then right after that, we will get your reactions. Full call-in show, lottery reactions. That's Tuesday, May 17th. So we won't do a weekly next week. We'll just go straight into the lottery. And then after the lottery show, once I get back from Miami, we're going straight draft. So we're going to bring back our fan favorites. Already talked to David Zenon. He's confirmed. Already talked to Corey Taliba, the guys at No Ceilings Podcast. They're confirmed. Going to reach out to a few more of the regulars. And it's time to grab our notebooks. Time to get into this draft study, man, and really lock in for the next month. So you guys know what time it is when we do draft. Nobody doing it like us. Number one show for the fans by the fans. Make sure to support our sponsors once again, man. Manscaped.com. Promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Dub is back down by one. And PrizePicks.com. PrizePicks.com. Promo code KFTV for a 100% match on your deposit of up to $100. Remember, these shows are available in audio podcast format. No need to miss it. All the major podcast platforms. Go ahead and tap in. And that's about it, man. Al, great show once again.
Right back at you, bro.
Yeah, great show. I'm not gonna hold that Charlie Ward pick against you, man. You could always come back next week.
Don't worry. I feel you with the KP. Don't worry.
You could always come back next week, man. And that's the story, man. We will be back next week. Let's roll the dice. Al, give me your lottery prediction, man. Where are we going? Matter of fact, let's do a quick tank. Let's do a quick tankathon before we go. We're in overtime right now. Let's go to tankathon and get this thing going. But give me your quick prediction.
Quick prediction. Knicks are going to be your draft calling 6.
Calling 6. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna do one sim right now. People in the chat, what are you thinking? Give me your lottery pick. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and the pick is. Damn, I had to scroll down. It was that far, bro. Number 12.
Yeesh.
Oof. Number 12. They even fall down a spot on the tankathon.
As the Knicks luck, man.
Oof.
They gave us the first ever NBA lottery pick, and they're like, that's enough.
It was so bad, it wasn't even in my immediate vision. I had to look down. Cold world, bro. Cold world, man. It's the life of a Knicks fan.
Hopefully it don't turn out that way, though.
Yeah. Hopefully not, man. Jamaica Queens, appreciate it. Junior Chroma, always in here. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. The Gooch. Appreciate it, Mike Arrow. Thanks for the question. We got Steady 1100. David M. How you feeling? Ryan Animal, Chuck D. Keith Sinclair, always appreciate it. Joey Galassi with the Wu-Tang symbol, appreciate that. JT Riddick, salute. Yeah, man. Catch you guys next week. King Matthews, always in here. Catch you guys next